Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited to have you all with us today. For those of you who don't know, I'm Allison Cooper, the founder and CEO of Project Motherhood, and I'm so excited to have with us today. Can't speak. Titania Jordan, the CEO and Chief Parent Officer of Bark Technologies. We are going to dive into one of the most, heavy, I feel like, topics that parents are dealing with right now, navigating the online safety space. So I'm going to first turn it over to you. Please share a little bit more about what you do and let our audience get to know you a little bit better.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I not only am the Chief Parenting Officer at Bark Technologies, where we help to protect over 7.4 million children across the nation, but I'm also a mom of a 16-year-old. And so it has been very humbling to try to raise my son in this uber connected world while I'm also trying to help millions of humans also across the globe stay safe online. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's so much. And I cannot wait to dive into more with you here. So I'm going to jump right in. I have so many questions to ask. Okay. And I know that everybody tuning in is like, okay, I'm ready to take all my notes. So first, you hold the title of Chief Parent Officer at Bark Technologies, which is so unique and powerful. What does the role actually look like day to day, and how did your journey as a parent lead you there?
So day to day is really different, which is great because I don't know if any of you are into Enneagram stuff, but I'm a 7 on the Enneagram, and so I need variety and spontaneity. And so just this morning, I was speaking at a local elementary school in Atlanta, Georgia, to parents of kindergarten through 5th graders. Then I came home, grabbed some cheese and crackers and hopped on some Zoom calls to connect with our schools team, who's working in trying to help connected communities through educating kids, administrators, and their parents. Then, product call for some things that we're going to be launching later this year, which I can't talk about yet. And then now I'm doing this masterclass. So my day is different. Some days I'm being called up to be on the news, and then other days I'm looking over, a few different graphic design files to see which one I like better. So it's really cool. Work doesn't feel like work. Work is a mission. Work is amazing. And how I got here, I would say I have a pretty strong faith, and I believe that it's by the grace of God that he has me here and doing this, because it's certainly not because I've made all the right choices. He's opened doors for me in places where I only saw walls. And as somebody who didn't go to school for computer science, to be at this place and time, in this position, in this pivotal moment in history, where we are at a turning point, is incredibly humbling. And hard work, raising your hand, even when you don't quite know how you're going to go about doing something, but having the confidence that you'll figure it out has been helpful in me getting here.
Oh, I love that. That is great words of advice right there. I love that. That's amazing. There's nothing like having a role that's mission-based, that you feel like, I'm getting up and I'm doing something, I'm making a difference every day. That's huge.
Yes.
Amazing. So you have a new book coming out, Parental Control: A Guide to Raising Balanced Kids in the Digital Era. It's already hit shelves, right? Okay. So everybody, as you're getting this email with this video, I'm going to have a link to where you can purchase the book. So we want to hear more about it. What inspired you to write this, and what is the one core message that you hope parents take away?
I was inspired to write this because this is the book I wish I had when my now 16-year-old son was like 5. it's just, we didn't have a guide, right? For
No, nothing.
generations, mothers have had the wisdom of prior mothers and grandmothers and aunts, et cetera, of how to breastfeed or bottle feed, and first steps and reading and discipline. And there's all, collective wisdom, right? But when it comes to tech and safety and social media and smartwatches and gaming and screen time, all of it, we're figuring this out in real time. And so I wanted to make sure that parents and those who care about kids had the most up-to-date information on what is really happening with children across the globe. And some, sorry. Thank you. Sorry, maintenance.
No, you're fine. This is life. This is real mom work from home life, and I love it.
I mean, you have dripping faucets that are taking up your water bill. You need to fix that. But so yeah, real advice. In addition to what's really happening with kids today, some real advice. Like, what can you really do about it? What do you need to know? How do you talk to your kids? What are some easy things you can do? What are some more involved things that you can do? But just help. Parents need help. And it's titled parental control because honestly, a lot of us have lost control. Like, back in the day, we just did what our parents said when they said it. And today, kids are like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So no. And we need to get back to how it used to be.
It's so true. Like, I will say, I also have a 16-year-old son. And when we got him his first phone, it was all the parental controls. Like, we went, crazy with all of it, almost to the point where we were like the biggest nuisance to him, even, preventing him from doing anything. But then we have this 8-year-old now, and she, got a phone much earlier than he did. And we're a little bit more lenient with things, and we probably should not be. So this to me sounds sort of like the what to expect when you're expecting for the digital era.
Exactly. We all read that book, right? Well, we all need to read this book or something like it because it comes at you, and then you find yourself in the middle of it, and you're like, oh no, what do I do? Whether your kid's in 3rd grade or 6th grade, it comes way too fast.
It does. No, that's huge. So going back to Bark Technologies, it helps protect over 7 million kids across platforms like social media and text messaging. What are the most surprising or alarming trends you're seeing in kids' digital behavior right now?
I would say that most parents don't realize how problematic Roblox can be. A lot of dangers on that platform, predators, inappropriate content. It's the most popular game for kids ages 5 to 12, but it's also highly problematic. I would say the dangers that we are seeing on Snapchat, it's not just a friendly, harmless app where people are messaging. There's so much more to it. And it's not good for kids. It's just not.
No, I can't even,
it's really heartbreaking. We're seeing children that are addicted to pornography, like young children, just because their parents handed them a device and didn't set the right filters. And then we could have a whole hour just about this question.
Yeah, sure.
But, suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death in children in this nation. And the rate at which children are struggling with their mental health much younger than anyone of us might realize is alarming.
Yeah, that's very, very scary. What does Bark do to help set up those parameters? I guess let's dive into that a little bit more. I mean, I have a whole list of questions, but for anybody here who is new to Bark Technologies, let's just share like a little bit of an overview of that.
Yeah. So Bark launched almost 10 years ago as an app that parents could add to their kids' smartphone or social media accounts or devices or email. And Bark would analyze, Bark is AI, that would analyze the context and the content. And so when there was a problem, the algorithm, Bark, would send the parent an alert, text or email. Hey, here's what happened. Let's say it was on Twitter or Instagram. Here's what you need to know, and here's what you can do about it. Here's how to talk to your kid about this disordered eating related content, or this predator that is messaging them, or this bullying situation. So it started as an app, and right off the bat, was saving lives. I mean, the rate at which children were encountering these things and the rate at which their parents did not know this was happening was really startling for these parents that were the early users of Bark. And so it grew. And because iPhones in particular were challenging to protect, Androids are much easier to add parental controls to, and parents were getting frustrated, and Apple wasn't willing to work with any parental control company because they have their own screen time that they think is adequate, which it's not.
Interesting.
Yeah, we decided to launch our own smartphone. So we now have a safer smartphone for kids. We have a safer smartwatch for kids. And we also have a device that goes in the home. It's called the Bark Home, and it connects to your router and helps you with things that you can't add an app to, like gaming consoles or smart TVs, or when friends come over and they bring their tech, but you want to make sure that tech is safe. So we've grown. Yeah, we've grown to be
huge.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you guys were doing that. That's incredible.
It's a lot. So yeah, our goal is to help children have safer experiences with tech. And we're doing that, and to empower parents to actually be able to manage it, because it can be very overwhelming.
It absolutely can be. So speaking of screen time, it's one of the biggest parenting battles in the modern era. How can parents set healthy boundaries without creating constant conflict or even shame around tech use?
I love this question. I would say you first have to start with modeling. If I was talking to you, but I was looking at my phone the whole time, this interview would be over. You'd be like, rude. So we need to model appropriate behavior, and our children will learn so much more by what they see us doing versus what we tell them to do. And then having some really firm guidelines, like no connected tech in the bedroom or behind closed doors. When we use tech, which is an amazing, powerful tool, we're going to use it in the common areas of the home and during daylight. When the sun goes down, the tech powers off. So just setting some firm rules that everybody adheres to. Within reason. Obviously, parents who have to work maybe have to, have some flexibility with that. You have to use what's given to you, meaning I'd say most people listening to this, watching this, have internet. Somebody's bringing the internet into their home. Well, chances are that internet service provider gives you built-in parental controls. You just have to turn them on. You have to know that they exist, which they don't usually tell you, and then turn them on. Use those filters, use those time limits. And so a lot of this proactive, preemptive decision-making can help just lay the groundwork where there doesn't have to be constant struggles or battles. It is what it is. We have the tech. Here's the time of day and the place in our home where we use it, period. And don't waffle.
I love it. I love it. How do you stay firm with that? Do you ever personally get any pushback with your household rules?
Oh,
tell me.
My
mom.
gosh. Okay, so I'm saying all this to you in calm confidence, right? And it's because when my son, let's say, was ages 4 to 14, it was just constant battles. And I did not always have the energy to remain firm. I acquiesced, and I regret that. I wish I could have just dug down and had a little bit more strength and fortitude to be like, I am the parent. I said no. You do not have to like my choices, and that's okay. I'm here to keep you safe, not be your best friend.
Yeah. It is important to remember that. It's hard in the moment when
it's so hard
about it.
No, my son is very, very bright, but also very stubborn.
Mm.
And that's, not all kids just do what you tell them.
No.
Them.
Some do.
Wild.
Some don't. Yeah, I know. It's amazing how you can have multiple children in the same home raised by the same parents, and they're just like so opposite of each other. Talk about rolling with the punches. I mean, yeah. Motherhood's a journey. That's for sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, buckle up. So in your work, you talk a lot about digital resilience and not just digital restriction. What does it mean to raise a balanced child in a digital world? And how can we start doing that at home?
Yeah, there's definitely some families, and I completely understand why, but they're just like, no, nothing. No TV, no tech, no screens, no access, nothing. That is certainly one way to go about it. I don't know many families that have had success in that regard, because their kids will find a way to circumvent, to hide things, to sneak things, to just access it at friends' houses or at school, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So being proactive in terms of, hey, there's this thing in the world called the internet and tech and social media. And when it's time, you'll be allowed to access it. And here's how we're going to respond as a family to a variety of things. And it's about guiding them and leading them, instead of just saying, no, you can't have it. And then all of a sudden on your 18th birthday, well, you're an adult, do what you want. It's not a sustainable strategy.
No, I mean, and not to mention they are using it so much in school as just a part of their curriculum. So they do need to have some understanding of how to use it, what's appropriate, how do I navigate it?
Yeah, and it's multiple candid conversations, much younger than any one of us might think. It's important to be talking to our children about mental health and tricky people online, because they're able to access online. And by online, I mean, does your home have a smart TV? Do they know how to go over to the remote, turn the TV on, speak into the remote and say YouTube? Then it's time, right?
Yep. Yeah, and that's what, like age 2 now, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is. It is so wild. Crazy. So let's move on to like the social media chat. Like social media and group chats are a whole world of their own, especially for tweens and teens. What red flags should parents watch out for, and how can we help our kids navigate that space safely?
I'm really glad you asked this. So I am so firm about not letting any child access to social media before, I would say, 16, if you can. And that's not just a personal opinion. That's based on science. It's based on data that we now have, knowing children's emotional states and their brain development. They're just not ready for what that throws at them. There's more harm that comes from children having access to that than good. And there's good, right? In the ability to communicate with peers. But they can do that other ways that are healthier, like in real life. So please delay access to social media as long as you can. I really just want to laser in on that, because that's where the problems are. There are safer alternatives out there. If your child wants to be able to talk to friends or text with friends when they are not with their friends in real life, you don't have to give them an iPhone. You don't have to let them have Snapchat and TikTok. They can have a safer smartphone like the Bark phone, or other options like a flip phone. And they can still have that access without the dangers. And you can actually have the ability to monitor it, so that when it spirals, you have an idea of why. When we see children who stop wanting to go to school, and their grades drop, their attendance dissipates, their appetite changes, they aren't sleeping well, or they're sleeping too much, any change in their mental or physical health or demeanor, that's a strong signal that something is wrong. And the clues for what caused that usually live in their digital signal. And so
Mhm.
we need to set up our kids for success. They have the rest of their lives to be sucked into algorithms. They need to first learn how to interact as good, kind humans.
I love that. Yeah. I remember when you used to have like a .edu email to sign up for Facebook.
Yes.
Becoming an adult, I'm almost like, oh, I wish it was still that way. You knew because you had to have a certain mindset, be of a certain age to be allowed on. And then it just sort of exploded. And
Yeah, I
now
mean, we let
they're
kids drive. Yeah, we let kids can't drive without a license.
yeah.
Why are they allowed to upload nudes that
Yeah, right?
appear at
Yeah.
13? Like, make it make sense.
Yeah, seriously. That's so scary. So scary. You are a huge advocate for open communication. What's a good first step for a parent who wants to start tech talks, not TED Talks, with their child who doesn't know how to begin without sounding like a lecture?
I would say start with humility, which is, I think, where we all find ourselves of,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm responsible for your physical health and your mental health.
Yeah.
And you, child, beautiful, beautiful human that I love so much, have this unprecedented access that I didn't have growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really actively listening and learning to the pros and cons of you having this access. And what we are learning as adults now is that we gave children too much access too soon, and it's hurting them. On the flip side, I don't want you to be just completely cut off. I want you to be able to enjoy technology and the benefits of it when it's healthy. So we need to work together to figure out what that looks like. And there are going to be times when you don't like the decisions I've made, and I'm going to need you to trust me. And it's okay if you're upset with me. I didn't like every decision that my parents made that was in my best interest. But
Yeah.
please know that this isn't coming from a place of me trying to just control you without understanding. I want to understand.
Child behind me. Yes.
Here we are. She's rubbing in.
As she goes to grab the tripod to film, she's on YouTube now. I know. I mean, I monitor it since I work in social media. I am like right there on it with her. But yes, to piggyback on everything that you're talking about right there, but for her, it's like this, it's become this cool creative outlet, and like she's learning how to design the thumbnails and all this stuff. But you do have to really be on it to regulate what is going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so you're on top of it, but
Yeah.
for another parent listening who has a child that uploads content to YouTube, some things to maybe talk about are, has anybody ever left, a creepy comment under one of your videos?
Mm-hmm.
And how would you respond to that? Would you ignore it? Would you report it? Would it make you sad? Would it make you scared? Really ask them a lot of questions just to get their brains thinking about it. It's not a you can't put stuff on YouTube anymore because there's creepy people out there. Like, there's definitely creepy people out there. The world's not going to stop turning.
Absolutely. And I feel like this also goes back to what we were talking about with open communication. Like, you want to create a place where they feel comfortable to come to you and say, I don't understand what this means. This comment popped up, or, whatever. There's spam and they don't understand what it is. And it's just, it's just navigating all of that stuff.
It's being, not being afraid to be vulnerable and have the tough conversations, and not being quick to judge or punish, and just really, really listening
Mm-hmm.
and helping to understand what their motive is. Like, why does your daughter, want to put this on YouTube? Is she looking to gain a following? Is she looking to monetize it? Is she looking to hone her design skills and lighting and videography skills? Because sometimes there can be other avenues that are better for that.
Yeah. And, in a way, we are kind of learning along with them, because, you know, it was like, as I think back, I'm like, well, my parents didn't really have to navigate it the way that we are navigating it as parents.
Right.
So, I mean, your book is, I can't wait to get my hands on it, because it's just like, it's incredible advice to have as these situations come up, and they do come up sporadically, and sometimes you're taken aback by them.
Yes.
So to have a guide to be, you know, be preparing for what to say is really huge.
Yeah, know what's coming before it arrives.
Before it arrives, absolutely. Bark is clearly a powerful tool. How do you recommend parents balance technology like this with good old-fashioned parenting instincts? Where's the sweet spot between trust and supervision?
Oh, wow. Great question. You know, as one of my favorite humans, Detective Rich Wostocki, he's a former child crimes detective based out of Chicago.
Yeah.
He really hones in on the fact that we have an instinct, right? Maternal instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to that. He's like, I have yet to see where it led a parent wrong. There's a lot of times when you won't know that something is wrong because kids are good at hiding things.
Mm.
But if you have the sense that something is wrong, you better listen to it. Listen to it. Don't discount it, because something's going on. Could be mild, but there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can use tools like Bark to help to surface what is going on. But if you don't have Bark or can't afford Bark, don't be afraid to go looking in the phone, in the browser history, in the gaming chats, in the photo folders. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a trail. The
Yep.
phone knows. The phone knows what's up.
Absolutely. And as I always say, we're paying for it, so we own it, and you can't say anything.
Yeah, it's a tool, you know, just like if you get in a car accident because of reckless driving, you'll lose privileges to drive that car until you can be more responsible. If you make bad choices with the tech, you got to take a break until we can learn how to be responsible with this powerful tool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're down to our last question here, and it's a good one. For the mom or dad who's feeling overwhelmed by tech and apps and all the ways that things can go wrong, what's your most encouraging piece of advice for starting small but staying consistent?
Be confident. You are the parent. You are in control. Your children are going to use every manipulation tactic on the planet
Oh, yes.
to make you feel bad to get what they want. It's not their fault. They're kids. But you've got to remain firm. You are not a bad parent for delaying. You are not a bad parent for saying not right now. You're not a bad parent for doing what is in your child's best interest. It is your job to prioritize their mental health and their physical health, not give them everything that they want all the time.
Absolutely.
So just
Point blank, yeah.
you've got that. You've got this. Be confident. And when you're lacking confidence or you're really struggling, don't go it alone. You know, I started a Facebook group called Parenting in a Tech World that has 600,000 parents in it. So when you're having one of those days where you're like waving the white flag, like, I think I'm just going to let my kid have this access because I just can't feel it anymore, go join the group, talk to other parents.
Yeah, will you send me the link for that? So I will include that in this email as well, so everybody can go and join that.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here today. This was such a huge, important conversation to have, and I'm so glad that I was able to have it with you and share all of this amazing information to all the parents who are tuning in. And yeah, just thank you. I feel so blessed to have you here today.
Thank you. Same here. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for all that you're doing and for everybody who is tuned in and is supporting what you're doing.
I love that. So everybody, please go check out the email. I'm including all of the information in here where you can find the book, the Facebook group. We can learn more about Bark. So I am providing it all for everybody so that we can help keep our kids safe online.
Yes.
Awesome. Yay. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.